Welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. We're going to be talking about screencasting and supporting equity through video. It's a topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart because, many of you know I've been working out of the studio and developing a whole bunch of videos over the past several years. If you would like to participate, one last push here, you just go to joinnearpod.com. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. And you just type in this code up here in the left-hand corner. You'll see it on each slide. Okay, so just enjoy the show. Okay, all righty. Okay, so this whole presentation is inspired by a few things that I've been reading. Okay, I did read How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. And he lets us know that you can make mistakes, and it's kind of a neat way of how to be an anti-racist is really just some common sense and just saying, you know what, we make mistakes, but try not to repeat them, right? Just be real, be real. State Chancellor talks on racial and social justice. So this year it's been extremely an important topic throughout the state. And now I'm going to try to merge these concepts that are going on with TechSmith Academy, a man by the name of Matt Pierce, a TED Talk from Paloma Medina. It's just an inspirational TED Talk. We're going to watch a sample of that. There's an article by Zaretta Hammond, and there's a point in there that I want to make. And then I also want to just say thanks to Allie and Sharon, because on Monday, my presentation, which I thought was brilliant before the holiday, really kind of sucked. I'm just going to be honest. And so I hope it's better. I hope we can go forward and make a better presentation. Okay. So with that being said, there's also going to be a raffle. Yay, we made it to the end of the day, right? Okay, for attending this session, the last session of the day, January 7th, 2020, you're going to be automatically entered in a raffle. And the prize is, I'm sorry?
What year are we in?
2021. Yes. Sorry. Don't say 2020. I'm so sorry. I just ruined it for everybody. Oh man. And I've got the books here, but I want to show you what it is. So the raffle is going to be, let's just take a look at this. So I learned a new trick. If I do this and copy, I can go look it up. This is pretty cool. So this is the book. It's called The Online Teaching Survival Guide. It is full of lots of wonderful tips and tricks on how to be a better teacher in an online environment, and it walks through some interesting stages. It might fit your style, it may not. It's not obviously not, set in concrete, but it definitely has some interesting concepts. So you get a copy, my personal copy of this book that I bought and that I have made some videos on and so forth. I'm actually giving away to you, so you have the secrets of what we do. So, okay, the online teachings. Okay, all right, good. So I had to narrow it down to 3 goals because I came up with 57. So as I see here, I came down with 57 goals, and I was going to solve the world today, solve the world's problems today. And I just realized that's not going to happen, right? So I decided to work on these particular 3 topics. First thing I'd like to review is diversity and equity, just the terms of it. It's kind of fun. It's just kind of a little refresher. And then I show you the video and you'll see why I did it. Then what does the term Storify mean? So it's like Storify. You probably already know what it means, but we're going to talk about it. What does that mean? And then finally, how can I create a story to be filmed? Okay, so we've got these screencasts. There's a million gazillion ways to do this. There's lots of points in time that you might be at. We're just going to go with 3 topics, and then later on, if you want to come back and see us in a open studio session or an office hour, we can elaborate. Okay, so 3 topics. All right, cool. So diversity, when you think of diversity, it is definitely important. Okay, so I don't think, we don't just say diversity is not important, right? I mean, it has it's a state of being, right? It's an end goal. It implies completion. It's a yardstick. It's a measurement. So it's what it is, right? It's what does it really mean? Okay, when is it really used? So when we're thinking about diversity, right? You want to think about, okay, when is it used, right? It's usually used to describe where we're at. It's usually used to describe a point in time. So while it's an important term and it's a great term, but it can't stand alone. So it can't be isolated, right? We've got to use it with some other terms, right? That's where the equity part comes in. It's a state of being, right? It's who we are. It's who we are as an institution. So if I go into, a school, it all has a diversity, set up. You can go to their website. You can see, who's doing what, that kind of thing. But are we? It tells about if we're diverse and how diverse are we. But it's an end goal, right? It's usually an end goal. It's used for, unfortunately, dollars, right? To measure something like a yardstick. So it's not an everyday concern. So when we're talking about equity, we're trying to think about an everyday concern. I'll explain the difference in a minute. We can't say I'm diverse really well. Our organization is diverse. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, we don't care about diversity as much as equity, because equity deals with fairness, right? Okay, so they go hand in hand. You need both. But equity deals about fairness. Okay. Am I being treated equally? Okay. It is what matters to us daily. It's a biological experiment, and I'll prove that in the next several slides. I'll prove the biological experiment. We think about it a lot. It matters in everything we do. If we go out and, do a job and someone gets one reward and someone gets another, we're, why did that happen? It identifies if there's any bias in the institution. Okay. In fact, when we're talking about bias, which was one of the rabbit holes I was going to go down, let me just show you something. So when I'm talking about a bias, right, I'm talking about these biases. So if I go to Wikipedia, let's see, is that it? Oh, that's not the page. They took it down. Well, anyway, so in Wikipedia, they had a whole list of biases. There's like 100 terms, right? And there's preconceptions that we come into when we come to the table. We've got different ideas and notions of what's going on. So we have to be careful of that. We have to be careful of how we're presenting ourselves. And we just, it's a constant battle. And that's kind of why I like Kendi's interpretation of everything, because we're trying to achieve this, but at the same time, we might make a mistake along the way, and when we make a mistake along the way, do we just give up, or do we keep trying? Okay. All right. So let me kind of give you an idea of what's going to happen here. You're going to see a video. Paloma Medina is going to give you a video here, and it's from a well-known TED Talk. Some of you may have seen it. You're just going to see an experiment. Okay, so it's going to go from 254 to 510. And then you're going to tell me what you learned. Okay, so with all this kind of equity, diversity thing, you're going to tell me what you learned. Okay, you guys ready? I see a lot of heads nodding. Oh, everybody's muted. Sorry. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over here. Let's just play it on all devices. Okay, all right. So it's going to play on your device, okay? And I'm going to click play, and I'm going to move it to 254 here. So 254, okay? And what's going on here is there's an experiment, okay?
Just tell me where to start it from, because I know you had specific...
254 should be nice.
255, okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
On the other hand, there's equity.
You
Okay.
guys here? Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Equity, our brain is wired to care about. So by equity, I mean being treated fairly, equality, and there are important differences between equity and equality. However, we have reached neither in most of our industries and our communities. So for this talk, I'm going to use equity. But the question I got really excited about was, what does our brain think about equity? Well, one of my favorite studies involved two monkeys that were placed in cages side by side, and these monkeys could see each other. They were taught a trick, and when they did the trick, they would get a cucumber piece as a reward. And the monkeys were very happy with this. Super great. In phase 2 of the study, they switched things up, and when one of the monkeys did the trick as before, this time she got a grape. And monkeys love fruit, so this was definitely a way better reward than the cucumber. Super good for this monkey. The other monkey, when she did the trick in phase 2, she still got a cucumber. So this was repeated again and again, so that the monkey, the cucumber monkey, she could see that she was doing the same trick, but getting the crappier reward. Let's pause there. If you were doing the same task as someone else, and you were getting a crappier reward, how would you be feeling right now? Tell me. All of your voices drop. What? Yeah, I'd be so pissed. Here's what the monkey did. That's validating, right? That's validating. Yeah. So, just like monkeys.
Stop it there. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Cool. So, with that being said, I hope you got a little chuckle out of that. I'm not hearing too many of our responses. But if I go into, if I share my screen and go back to the activity here, you're actually going to respond now in on this next slide about what is the difference between diversity and equity, and did this video help you learn the concept? So I've been kind of showing a lot of different things here, but you can actually just type in here what just some ideas about diversity, some ideas about equity, but does the video help? Does the video help form scaffolding? Does it help? And I think as you put stuff in there, it'll just show up. So think about it. And if you could participate, that would be cool. And if you haven't participated yet, you just go to join.nearpod.com and you would type in this code up here, GL9F3, and you can put something up on the board.
On the other screen.
So diversity alone is performative, equity is substantiated fairness. Well, isn't that a great way to say it? We think about it every day, like, if it happens to us in any instance, we're a little bit upset, right? So diversity is a state of being, but nobody cares whether they're diverse or not. But equity, you care if you don't get that grape, right? You're going to take that cucumber and throw it. The analogy was effective in explaining equity. Thank you, because I was just trying to give you a video with someone else's opinion and just throw it in. I didn't even create the video, right? Equality, both monkeys got a reward, but not the same value of them, giving students what they need to perform versus the same reward. Interesting. Yeah, not sure I totally understand that, but that's cool. That's cool. I think the video provides students a way to connect. Look at this. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Monkeys like rewards, right? You can put anything up here because this is also an equitable process. When you give people choices and you allow them to explain something and put stuff up on the board in your classroom without fear, that is definitely an equitable process. So I haven't even gotten to the video part yet, but this, just teaching like this and having people respond like this is really equitable because everyone has a voice and everyone has a way of sharing. So your responses are awesome. I can't read through all of them, right? It was effective because you can relate to the monkey's feelings. Yes, yes. Would this be considered triggering kinesthetic learning? Interesting. By kinesthetic, I'm assuming you mean physical, like physical learning. Yeah, I don't know. Equity is hard to understand. Videos and discussions help to clarify it deeper, right? So now that we have, I don't know what happened next. Well, she went back into her speech. She goes back into her speech. So there's a lot in the beginning and the end. It's a 15-minute speech, and there's good stuff, but I didn't feel it was in our best interest to keep going down this path. But it's the end of the day, and I'm glad you guys are having fun with it. Good. Okay, so these this is also being recorded, and these will also be responses that I'm keeping on the back end too. Cool. Excellent. Okay, can I move forward? Okay, cool. Excellent. You guys are wonderful. Okay, so then it leads me to this. Okay, so I've explained diversity and equity. That's pretty clear. Now I need to talk about 3 tips in Zaretta Hammond's, Storify. What does all this mean? So I'm going to go out to Zaretta Hammond's website. Okay, great. And she says there's 3 tips to make any lesson more culturally responsive. And I like the idea, and I think it's great. But I think she might be an instructional designer or had some instructional design training somewhere, because as I go through this, I'm like, this seems a lot like instructional design. So the first one's pretty simple, and unfortunately, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's called Gamify. And if you want to learn more about Gamify, you can talk to Sharon. She's got some great ideas. Make it social. I know that makes a lot of sense to people too. Let's make it as social as we can. But these 2 concepts are a lot to talk about. And remember, I had 57 goals. I've narrowed it to 3. So I'm going to just talk about Storify. So I get down here to Storify, and it's important that we think what Storify is, right? So we take a concept that we want to learn, and we try to make a story out of it, because the brain is wired to remember stories. I'm just reading what she says. The brain is wired to remember stories and to use the story structure to make sense of the world. That's why every culture has creation stories. Okay. In oral traditions, stories play a bigger role in teaching lessons about manners, morality, or simply what plants to eat or not eat in the wilderness. And of course, there's more, right? It's the way content can be remembered. Diverse students, and all students really, instructional design, universal design for learning, learn content more effectively if they can create a coherent narrative about the topic or process presented. Thank you very much, Zaretta. So she says this very clearly and precisely, that the brain's way of weaving it all together, boom, that's how we learn stuff. So I've shown you a story. You get what Storify is, and we're going to test you on the next slide. So the next slide says, at least I think we are, better make sure I'm in the right place. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to worry about this. So next, I want to know what Storify means to you. So it doesn't necessarily mean we have a full definition. It doesn't necessarily mean, just what does it mean to you personally? So when you're trying to create equitable lessons, you want to give them opportunities to express themselves with the material. So what does it mean to you? This is interesting, right? How are we going to phrase this? You know, if I'm, you know, making, let's see, what did I say? What did I write down? Yeah, make it personal. It doesn't have to be the same as the next person's, but what is it that a story means to you when you hear something in a story format? You know, I used to teach Spanish. I know some of you know this. I taught it for many years, probably 15 years, you know, more or less. And we would create stories, sequential stories in Spanish, memorize them and do, you know, different things. And I never realized that I was using brain research, and I'm, you know, following all these patterns, and it's, you know, it's supported. So yeah, what does Storify mean to you? When you personalize it, you do remember. That's for sure, Daniela. Yeah.
How do you, I'd like to answer the question, but I can't.
If you went to,
Matt muted you. The message came up for some reason.
yeah, you would have to do it on a different computer.
Here, let me.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I only have this one.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Lessons are learned at a much deeper level when the story is attached to it.
I know a lot about.
Notice how people always seem to listen more intently when they're listening to a story. Right. You listen more intently, you might even remember more. Yeah. It would be join.com, join.nearpod.com is the website address. And then you would just add the code you see in the upper left-hand corner. Making it personal. You know, when I got here, I was really, and I still am, pretty big on personalized learning. I think as adults, we know what we need to learn, we know what we need to do. So if we were allowed to personalize it and add it to a,
I thought you wanted to talk.
if we add it to an item, we have more of a, we make our own goals, right? We make our own goals. We have more of a chance to accomplish them. Making lessons accessible so that students don't have to start from the same point, but work towards an understanding. Yeah. Memorable. Right. I do. Yes, as an individual, I should and do care about. Yes. Lessons are learned at a much deeper level when there's a story attached to it. Sharing a story that brings a concept or values one wants the audience to be remembered and remember. I get your point. Stories are by design intended to be interesting. If something interests us, we are more likely to give it more attention, and it's more important. But if it isn't interesting, then forget about it. Exactly. Right. So if I give you guys more time, I get cooler answers. So I almost want to just wait and get some more answers. You know, stories are the music of the soul, how we keep it real. That's awesome. Right. You know, it's an internal thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know you have wonderful things about stories, and I'm so sorry. Would you like to say something about stories?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes. Okay. I know. I'm sorry you weren't able to. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't type anything for whatever reason.
Why don't you just tell us? Tell us what you want to say.
All right. Well, a lot of it has already been said, you know, but stories, the narrative is the way we make meaning. So when we tell someone last night in the parking lot, this guy, you know, called me and I went over, you're telling a story, you know, so it just needs a when, a where, and a who, and you begin. Now, not all stories like that are interesting, but it is a narrative that makes meaning of your experience.
This is awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, right. Let's dig that. That's cool, right? And you're thinking about it too, right? If it's a good story or a decent story, right? You've got it in your brain and you're trying to put the characters together, and you can even make up your own, background and stuff. Travel stories, yeah, it fits into a lot. I love stories. Remember them so much better. Cool. This is
Virginia?
great.
Yeah.
Just went out because
Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide. Is there anyone else still typing in something? Okay, good. Thank you very much. This is wonderful. Okay, so now you get to think of a topic. So what do I get to do next? I got to think of a topic. For this particular exercise, you need to think of a topic that you've always wanted to learn. Okay, so it could be Tai Chi, because that's something I'm learning. Surfing, something I might want to learn, or the German language, which I'm actually learning. I'm a beginning German language. It is not necessarily a course-related theme, but it can be. It doesn't really matter. You might want to think about something you can break down into chunks, smaller units. I'll give you a few minutes to think about that. Feel free to discuss it openly if you want, and then you're going to put it on this next slide. You're just basically going to say, this is what I want to learn, because you got to have something. No, I don't want to prove anything. No, you got to have something that you've always wanted to learn. You got to have something in mind when you start doing this, because it's hard to. It's easy to define Storify, create a story out of it. Yeah. But you got to also have some goals, right? You got to have some goals. What is the thing I want to do? I learn how to ride a bike. Do I want to make a pizza? What is the thing that you'd like to learn? Skateboarding. There you go, Stephanie. Skateboarding, right? So how do you skateboard? Right, you break it down into a chunk, right? Probably the first thing you have to learn is how to fall, right? Because it's going to hurt. But yeah, skateboarding, something. What is it going to be? I don't know. What do I have? What did I write down here? Think of a topic. Yes. Skirking or surfing or something like that. It's okay. We're allowed to make mistakes. It's okay. Don't even worry about it. I want to learn how to play the ukulele. Ooh, the ukulele. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Linda has something that I can't see. Is that a symbol? Is that surfing? Oh, that's her. I'm sorry. That's her. Thank you. I'm making a correction. I want to learn Icelandic. Whoa. Master bread making. What's viticulture? I don't know. Play piano, surf emoji. Oh, he does know German. I will. I don't know. That's all. No, I want.
I can help you.
Exactly, please.
No, that's what it says.
Oh, thank you.
Come to help. I can help you.
It's beginning German for me. All righty, guys. This is great. Yes. Nice. Cool. So I hope you're seeing that this also is a way to use a tool. It's Nearpod. It's something we're going to sample this year, but it brings out different opinions. So cool. Korean food. Oh, I'm getting hungry now. At my age, my interest changed slowly, but over the past year, I have developed an enticing passion for learning to cook, in particular, learning to cook fish. There's something special with gathering around a table to connect and eat together. So yeah, we all come from different backgrounds, right? And then, when we're coming to the table, whatever happened that day, just remember it can be an effect on what we do. Okay. Oh, it looks like Allie's planting. I like that. Is that a good call? All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. You're awesome. Okay. So how do you make a story out of it? Okay. You got to think, what does your story need? What are the goals of what you're teaching? What tools do you need? What do you need to storyboard? What special effects are going to be there? How do I make a topic out of my story? So we've got some templates here. I'm going to show you different avenues. I went to the internet, and there's literally hundreds of these, right? Thousands of these probably. And as we're, you know, what does your story need? Does it need characters? Does it need props, timing, action, graphics, a video, a screencast? You know, what are the goals of your teaching? Do you need, you know, is it one particular topic that you're going to narrow in on? Is it one story? You know, you don't want to get too broad. Let's see. You can always ask an instructional designer if you're not sure about the tools when you get to tools there. You know, what do I need to write out? Okay, so, you know, I like to give my presentations and be, you know, open book. But if I don't write something out, I sometimes get lost or forget something, right? You know, there's just so much that I'm trying to share and you just forget something. So having something to kind of fall back on is a good idea. You know, walk through, read it to somebody, doesn't make sense. So yeah, so I think that's a good idea. I'm going to show you two templates. Example one is very straightforward, pretty boring, right? You would just write the text at the bottom, what's happening, draw a picture up top. You know, you're just trying to, you know, scan this out. How many scenes do I need? You know, so for example, if I was drawing a story about going to school, you know, I might, you know, leave the house and just write down leave the house. Okay, if it's a, you know, depending on what you're trying to train, you know, driving a car, you get in the car, you open the car, you shut the car, you know, you turn on the music in the car, whatever, something like that. And then you drive, you know, whatever, and you're at school. Okay. You know, that's the template. I was going to try to draw something here, but my drawing's pretty bad. So you get the idea. As you're looking at templates, there are more elaborate templates out there too. This is pretty elaborate. I like it. You know, shot one is going to be this. Boom. You know, it's going to be, let's see. Yeah, you know, I don't have an idea for this one. Sorry. But, you know, it can have an action. It's going to have a dialogue. It's going to have special effects. And really, you know, writing that stuff out helps you clarify, you know, how these things are going to go. If you need a storyboard, if you don't need a storyboard, you could write out a script and keep it simple. But do write something because it helps you keep your notes together. Cool. All right, screencasting. So when we get into screencasting, we're basically on a timeline, right? So there's all of us here on this timeline. I don't know where you're at on this timeline. You could be at writing the script, you know, creating the story at the beginning. You could be deciding what tools do I need. You know, I'm ready to create this thing, but what tools do I need? Do I need recording for audio? I've got audio and web camera, and I get, so how do I screen capture? What is the screen capture? You know, so we're here for you to try to help you in this process. You obviously need to film and record the screencast. The wonderful learning studio, the LRC Learning Studio, recording studio, has some studio upgrades that are coming very soon to a theater near you, right? And you're going to have more enhanced stuff that you can go in and use. There'll be computer updates and some equipment. There'll be green screens. There will be you know, bigger cameras in the room, and we're in the process of defining that, but we got accepted in the last program review. So cool. And then once you film all this stuff, right, then you've got to edit it. Okay, so if you're at that stage, you know, what does it entail? You know, you can get too elaborate. You can spend tons of time on your topics. You might, just be careful. Editing your screencast is a fun process, but it's not for everybody. So if you're really, let's just take it once and then let's put it out there. You find out where you are, how you want to do this, because it could take a good while, right? And then the final edits prior to publishing, because you're going to publish it on the web, you want to post it out there. So there's a lot of stages. I'm just trying to figure out where you are on the timeline, what kind of things you might be doing. So the next slide is just, hey, where are you on the timeline? What is it you think you are? Where do you think you are? Where are you? Where are you on the screencasting timeline? What makes sense? And just put it in here so we have some ideas of when we talk what's going on, because it is a complicated, it can be a complicated process, and we want to help simplify it so that you're not nervous about it. So cool. And then the raffles after this.
Hi, Matt. This is Jacqueline Walker. I have a clarifying question.
Yes.
When you say, like, where are we on the screencasting timeline, are you talking about, like, using screencast, using Storify for, like, a lesson, to teach a lesson? I got a little confused about that.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, if you've got this concept and you're thinking about, and maybe it's a little preemptive, if you're thinking about turning it into a story, are you at the beginning stages? Are you, have you done some recording of concepts, and it's, maybe you could edit those in a different way. Where do you feel like you are on this timeline, or yeah, does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay,
Thank
good.
I'm gonna put it on one of those little post-its, but I'm thinking now that you clarified it a little bit, what I'm thinking of is, so I'm teaching, well, I don't know if I'll be teaching creative writing this semester because I'm not sure if the class will get enough students, but we're offering a creative nonfiction. And so I was thinking, even just making a video about what is nonfiction, because even that question alone, just there's so much there that we can explore. What is story and what is nonfiction? So I could make a video, I could storify that question.
Exactly. Now you're thinking, right? So yeah, exactly. So you want to take a concept and then turn it into a story. It doesn't, even if it's not a story, right? You're taking nonfiction, and how do people define this? It's a process. It's an imperfect process. It is. Sometimes you hit it right on, and the class loves it and they have a great time, and other times you're like, I got to figure out how to do this better. Lydia.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even nonfiction uses story, it uses narrative at least. So, if you think of what is the story within the nonfiction, what is the narrative that's being proposed, or propose a narrative that fits this nonfiction assignment. So you want to remember that there's no truth that there is a total line between fiction and nonfiction, or storytelling and nonfiction. So if you want to, you need to incorporate that idea of narrative, or at least implied narrative, if it isn't obvious in the piece.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah, there's some ideas here about the pandemic. that you could create. Yeah, effects on democracy. My goodness, yeah. I've I don't want to get into it, but yeah, there's a lot of things there you could talk about. Well, yesterday's congressional events, yeah, I mean, it felt like, yeah, I don't want to, I shouldn't get into that right now, but you're a good idea, Dan. Teach and record a lesson of me talking over slide. Yeah, we can explain that. So the studio is going to have some ways to address that for you. We might even, well, I can't say where we're going to go yet because it's still in the development stage, but I'm hoping it gets easier. Yeah. What's screencasting? Thank you very much, Stephanie. I need to sketch up some storyboards for some ideas I have. Yeah, we always have ideas. These things can take a while, and as we're developing and putting it out there, yeah, it can take a long time. It can take up some of our time. So start simple, keep it simple, and yeah, just keep on recording, and we'll figure it out. Cool. All righty. So with that being said, I stopped a little bit early because you're doing a great job, and we just don't thank you enough. You guys are awesome, right? I wish you the best of luck in 21, include everyone. So it's diversity, it's equity, but you really just have to include everyone. It's just not really sure where to end this, but it's okay if we don't, because we've got this year to start fresh, start anew, and come up with some new ideas. So we will have stuff in the studio for you guys, and I think I'm just going to say, are you ready for the raffle? Okay, so I've got to explain the raffle. This is just how I think sometimes, so I apologize for this. Okay, so the raffle. It's for the online teachers book, so we're all good there, and I'll figure out a way to get it to you so that it's COVID safe. Everyone must stand, but I'm not going to see you, so that doesn't even matter. Everyone must remember their first name, so I'm figuring everyone can remember your first name. Okay, I will use the random letter generator on the next slide to determine the first letter of your first name. So I have a random letter generator. It generates. I click a button, it generates randomly the letter. So remain standing, I guess, if you want. I don't know. Only if your letter is called. If no letter is called, we'll do the process again. If two people have the same first letter, then those two people get into the next round. Okay, so that's fair. They get in the next round, and then we do the next letter, and so forth until we can finish this madness. Fair enough? Everybody understand the rules? Because if we don't, and later on you start saying, well, that was, all right, okay. You want to see the random letter generator? It's high-tech stuff. Okay, so when I push this button here, oh yeah, Lydia has a question. Yes, Lydia. Oh, we're still standing. Okay, yes, she's standing. We have random letter generator over here, and the letter will appear somewhere in this area right here. So are you guys ready? This worked the other day. Okay. Uh-oh, there's K. Does anybody have the first name K? Really? There's nobody here with a K?
How about G?
Okay, so K. Okay, so K doesn't work. Okay, K doesn't work. So first name, everybody think you're first. Okay, don't forget the first letter. Try the random letter generator again. I hope it works for. I don't know how. It's okay. M. I'm disqualified. Really? Okay.
I have an M, Matt.
There's two M's.
Oh, there's two M's. Okay, sorry. So there's two M's. Who are the M's? I apologize. So
Mary.
Mary and.
Yeah. I don't know the other one.
Malia?
I hear there's another one. Malia. Okay, there's Malia.
Hi.
Okay, so it's Mary and Malia. So it looks like you both have the same A. So that's not going to. So it's Malia and. So we'll look for the L or we'll look for the R. Okay. Random letter generator. Look for an L or an R. Is that everyone? Because I don't want to. Okay. Sorry.
Sounded like Mary said it first, though, so maybe we just go with who answers first.
Oh, we gotta be random.
Fair and equitable.
It's got to be fair and equitable. Maybe I should have had a better plan.
So what are we doing now?
I'm looking for an R or an L. This is horrible.
Oh, you want to know which one comes first? Okay, now I get it.
Yep.
L.
L. There we
Yay!
go. So after 45 letters, it's L. It's Malia. Malia, you are the winner of the Online Teaching Survival Guide.
I also have an M too, Lorena.
Oh, Lorena. Well, this was the tiebreaker for the M's.
It was the tiebreaker for the M's. So Lorena is a beautiful name, but it doesn't fit into the process.
No.
Oh, that's wonderful. You guys are awesome. So Malia, I will figure out how to get this book over to the science department. Let me write your name down so I do not forget. Malia Rose, and you will have the wonderful, a fairly good copy of the Online Survival Guide, 2nd edition. I did not mess it up much, and it is all for you. And there's a lot of good tricks in there and a lot of good tips and tricks. So thank you very much. I think we can stop sharing and stop recording.